Peter Zavala. I'm a full-time music teacher, I'm a performing musician, and a songwriter. And today I'm going to tell you something that nobody in this room actually probably wants to hear. Stop chasing your dreams. And you're like, what? And I really mean it too. You have to stop chasing your dreams. I'm going to help you today find your groove instead. And your dreams are going to find you. So, before I tell you how it all works, I want to start with a couple of definitions of what the groove is. So, Google tells us that the groove is three things. One is a rut or a depression that helps guide motion. All right? The second one is a habit, so like repetitive actions or repetitive thoughts. And the third one is my favorite. It's a rhythm or a pulse. I'm a drummer, right? So, it's this rhythm that made its way into my heart when I was a little kid and sparked my love of music forever. So that's me right there, standing up in the back, looking super cool. These are my two best friends at the time. The guy with the really slick hair back there is my best friend, Adrian. And Adrian, we used to take our drum sets and like smash them together and make this big, huge thing. Adrian was actually the best drummer in our town. So whenever somebody wanted to start a band, they would call me and they would be like, dude, we need a drummer. And I'm like, and they would go, do you have Adrian's phone number? And I'm like, yeah, I got it, right? So, but the difference between me and Adrian was that he had other interests in life and I didn't. All I wanted to do was play my drums all the time. So I would sit up in my room with this big drum set all set up, and I would play to every single song that came on the radio, whether I knew it or not. I would play all my CDs and all my cassette tapes at the time, and I just loved it. I would just get lost in that moment and not think about anything else. But pretty soon, I started picturing myself playing in front of huge audiences on big stages. And after a while, the dreams got so vivid that I was no longer satisfied to just dream. So I decided to start chasing it. So I started with my junior high school band. And that's me right there. Funny story, I didn't actually know how to read any music. I would just memorize all my parts. And I used to get bumped up. I got bumped up to the section leader my first year there, and I was one of only 3 6th graders that made it into the 8th grade honor band that year. And I thought I was doing pretty good. You know, my dreams seemed a little bit closer, so I kept going. Over the next couple of years, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you know, I did a lot of stuff. I got my first drum set. I joined the honor band. I started playing around Hollywood in high school. I went to the Kennedy Center around this time when I was about 21 years old with Jeremy. And hi, Jeremy. Wherever he is. I started teaching, you know, trying to share what I knew about music with other people. And, you know, I wrote a small film score. I did a lot of stuff. And if you only look at this, then my life on paper looks pretty good. But there was another timeline that was running parallel to this, and it looks more like this. Yeah, so starting about around the same time I got my first drum set, I started experiencing lots of suicidal thoughts that would just persist throughout my life. And I started going to therapy. I got expelled from school in high school. You could see where this leads. Lots of drugs and alcohol, things like that. And for every high point in my life, every time I reached up to that next rung, I would crash back down. And the distance between me and my dreams just seemed to get bigger and bigger with every step that I took. And I couldn't understand it for a long time until I realized, actually, just a few weeks ago, I was doing the research to put together this project, and I realized what had been working behind the scenes the whole time. It's called borderline personality disorder. I didn't realize I had that. And what it is basically, again, a habit of thinking that develops early in life, where you kind of tend to categorize yourself in terms of black and white thoughts. Things are either working for you or they're working against you. You're either a good person or you're a bad person. And when you do well, you do really well, and you have to keep up that perfection. If you fall short, you fall straight back down to the bottom. And it's kind of a failure to be able to see the good that lives within the bad and the bad that's within the good. That's kind of part of life and part of everyone. So why am I telling you this, right? Well, the thing is that, in a way, we all kind of do this. Right? We have this dream or this goal, this future self, and this future self is really, really, really smart and really successful and really strong and deals with disappointment and like with no sweat off their back, right? And we compare ourselves to these people, and we compare ourselves to where we are our dream is somewhere far off, and we're here. And so with every step we take towards it, we just see the distance. And we kind of fail to see that these moments, well, what we do is we see this distance and we get really, really, really busy, right? We get really busy. Every day we get up and we go and we go and we go and we fight and we work hard. But what we don't see, well, we all know this, right? It's called the daily grind, right? We're all grinding towards our dream. But maybe instead of grinding, maybe instead of doing a lot, we should think more about what we do. Maybe instead of grinding, we should be grooving. So to me, I had to step back for a moment in my life. I put all my projects on pause. And I had to learn to sit still and not chase so hard. And what that taught me is I kind of lost sight of what it felt like just to sit in my room and just play because I loved it. I was so busy chasing, I forgot to live in the moment and enjoy it. Instead of letting each day pass by like just some means to an end, I failed to see what was right in front of me all the time. So I decided to get back in touch with that. I went to some buddies from high school, from college, and we just started a punk band, and we just started playing in backyards instead of, big stages. We just played at house parties and stuff like that. We had a lot of fun. 5 years later, we're playing all over town, and kids are wearing our shirts. That's me over there hopping up and down, looking like a fool. Maybe if you don't recognize me, go like this. And so, sorry, I was getting too groovy with it. All these kids dig our band, just because they could see how much fun we're having. And that was the part I forgot. There are always, I'm not saying don't take steps towards your dream. I'm saying realize that when you take a step, you have to be present with that moment and see that the reason you do is because you love it. Whatever it is, whether you want to earn more money or start a family or play in a band. And as soon as I got in touch with that, my phone started ringing off the hook. People were just like, damn, every show this guy plays, big or small, doesn't matter where, doesn't matter in front of how many people. I seen this guy play in his bedroom and he's having a great time. Let's get him. And my phone started to ring and ring a lot. This is less than 2 years ago. This all happened within a few months. This band took me out on tour to Las Vegas, all expenses paid on my first gig. Then I got another phone call from somebody who saw me at this show. And I went on a big Mexico tour and played in front of 15,000 people. After that, I got called by some more dudes who took me up to the Pacific Northwest. A lot of stuff went wrong on this tour, and we actually didn't end up playing that much, so I basically got paid to hike around the Pacific Northwest and camp out and make friends for a month. And these are all my students. So what I'm trying to say is, maybe instead of chasing our dreams so hard, we got to get present with the moment. So here are a couple tips I want to share with you. One is learn how to quiet your mind. And for me, mindfulness meditation on a daily basis helped me do that. But maybe, some of you prefer prayer, and that's okay. You got to stop thinking about what you want so hard and start feeling it when you're in the moment. Another way is to focus on what you do have instead of what you don't have. So maybe just write down 3 things that you're grateful for every day. Look at what's available to you right now instead of looking at what's lacking in your life. The last one is stay committed. Sometimes we get this feeling that sparks us and we go and we give it everything we have. But along the way, when things get tough, we lose that feeling and we tend to want to give up. Don't let yourself give up. Remind yourself why you got started. Remember the big picture. And don't forget to put together all the little moments in your life that make up that big picture. Don't let them pass by. Don't add them up. Take a look at them right now, because you might be actually missing out on that big picture that your life is right now. Right now is the moment where you get to write your story and fulfill it in the same time. Right now is the time where you have a choice to control what you do. With each step you take, you arrive. Stop chasing your dream. Find your groove. Thank you.
Hey, Jeremy Lejeune here. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors that helped this event happen. Feel free to check them out all over here. Also, all the speeches are posted on our YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out as well.